Welcome to the Alternative Dog Moms podcast. I'm Kimberly Gauthier, creator of Keep the Tail Wagging. I've been blogging about raw feeding, pet wellness, and life as a crazy dog mom for more than 10 years. I've seen massive improvements in my dog's health since I began raising my dogs naturally, and I'm passionate about sharing my experience to help other pet parents.
I'm Erin Scott from the Believe in Dog podcast. For more than 10 years, I've been researching and learning everything I can about healing cancer, allergies, autoimmune, and mystery illnesses in both my dogs and myself. And I can't wait to share with you everything I've learned in case it could help you too. As the Alternative Dog Moms, Kimberly and I are bringing you all the latest dog health news that we're following and the brilliant people we're meeting along the way. Now let's get started. Kimberly! I'm so excited right now.
Hi, Erin.
So we have an awesome guest today joining us from the other side of the world, which is very cool. And we even got our time zones right, which is also very cool.
Yes.
So all the way from Singapore, we have Dr. Francis Cabana, and on Instagram, you are at Fueled for Life. And that's how Kimberly and I found you. So welcome. How are you today?
I am great. Thank you so much for bringing me here.
We always love starting off with a good origin story. So tell us how you got involved in what animals eat.
I've worked with animals my whole life. I knew since birth that I was going to work with animals. It was always my thing. I remember in grade 1 crying in school because they read a book where a dog died.
Mm.
And it was a Dachshund, which was the same type of Dachshund that I had. So I was just always very in tune with natural world and with animals. So naturally, when you're young, you don't really know the career path. So you think I'm going to be a vet. I think everyone goes through that at least one time in their life when they're a kid. And I like to ask a lot of questions. So even in school, I was a solid B plus student, solid B plus. Not really A, but a solid B plus. I was a little shit. Like I was just questioning and fighting with teachers, trying to understand more and asking them, "How do you know what you know?" Like you know that annoying kid, that was me. Yeah. And I still have that to this day. Um, so I ended up obviously learning more about the animal world, but about career. So then I thought, I want to save animals. I want to help animals. I want to work in zoos. So I became a zookeeper and I started studying zoology. So I was a zookeeper when I was, I want to say 18, as early as I could. I was working in pet shops before that, obviously. Um, And then when I was a zookeeper, this was in Canada, by the way, in a Granby Zoo. Like I can say it, it's fine. There was this moment. I think the origin moment was when we were preparing the dye. And when you're like a newbie zookeeper, you don't ask, you don't tell. There's nothing there. You do what you're told, and basically you clean up poop, and it's honestly 95% picking up poop. And then 5% of what your superiors like allow you to do as a treat. So I was taking the Coati diets. Do you know what Coatis are?
No.
No.
South American raccoon.
Okay.
Let's just put it that way. Yeah. So I was taking their diet from a Tupperware and putting it into their metal bowl. And I noticed there was cottage cheese. So then I asked my superior, which was a senior zookeeper who's been there many, many years. And I'm like, why is there cottage cheese in a Coati diet? I'm like, what's the purpose of this? And then the answer was because the vet said so.
Oh.
And that pissed me off because you didn't answer my question. And now I know that you don't know. So what am I doing here? Who am I going to learn from? Am I learning to just be a good little worker bee without any understanding? I said, that's not going to work for me. So then I decided to go and get a master's in nutrition just to understand, to answer my own questions because I wasn't going to learn it there. So I went to the UK, I got my master's, and then I went back to the same zoo thinking, okay, and I'm done, like now I have my answers. But now I knew too much, which it sounds incredibly elitist. But when I'm there now, I was frustrated about wanting to change things and improve things because all the things that I've learned. but not being able to make any changes because you're still a junior zookeeper.
Hmm.
So why were they giving him cottage cheese?
Yeah. Did you ever find out?
I found out because then I started working in zoos all around the world, and I continued to do my PhD. But the cottage cheese was because they used to do that back then.
Oh.
It's a heritage thing. So they used to do that, and the coatis didn't die. So let's keep doing that. And yeah, I mean,
It's
we
because
didn't
we've
kill him.
always done it that way. That's like the
Yeah.
worst
Oh
thing
my
ever.
god. It is the worst thing ever. And I feel like I don't want to like just get into zoos too much because then I will be unstoppable and it's going to be a very depressing episode. But there's a lot of that in the zoo world, which is we've always done it that way. They're struggling to like find their scientific roots, some better than others, obviously. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. So then I was offered an internship in a zoo in the UK where I did my master's, unpaid internship, but focused purely on zoo animal nutrition. I'm like, how can I say no?
Yeah.
How can I pass this experience up? Like, the amount of zoo nutritionists are in Europe, you can count them, with two hands. So I thought, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go. So for a full year, I was unpaid, and I sold soap in a mall after just to survive. But then that led me to doing research. That led me to getting my first paper published, which led me to start doing my PhD.
Nice.
So it all kind of just flowed. I always focused on nutrition. And it's only really by working with all of these different zoo animals that I was able to see that nutrition is just so close to well-being. It's just it's the pillar.
Yeah.
It's foundation. It's a
Yeah.
foundation.
The
That's what I mean.
foundation. Yeah. Well, it's funny that you say that. I saw a post on social media this morning where I follow this guy, Joey Swole, and he's a trainer. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
He's a trainer, fitness trainer, and he like responds to people who behave badly in gyms. But he posts things that he sees, and someone posted that, oh yeah, that fuel wasn't medicine and fitness wasn't therapeutic. And he responded to that. And I was just like, I can't tell if, when people post things like that on social media, if they're trying to be contrary to
Mm,
get people stirred up, or if they
mm,
truly, truly believe that food isn't medicine, that it's not
mm,
fuel. And it's just like, but that's basically the world we live in.
mm. It is. You need to get attention. If not, you're not noticed. And usually it's by doing something that pisses people off,
Hmm. Yeah.
Hate
which
that.
is so crazy.
Hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, I hate it too. Yeah.
So, what led you to social media?
So, since working in zoos, and then I had a big disillusionment about the zoo world in general, realizing actually I'm not helping animals. Uh, yeah, it was really a rude awakening because I was like, what am I doing here? I'm not really doing what I set out to do.
Hmm.
So, if I really want to help animals, then I'll work with animals. I'll work with in the pet food industry. So, I was always dabbling with pet food companies because a lot of them also make zoo food. So I did formulate. Of course, the average person wouldn't know this, but yeah, you can buy flamingo pellets. You can. You can buy pellets for bears. Like, it really does exist. There is bear food.
Oh, wow.
Um,
So that's a whole industry too? They're not.
yes, it is.
Oh, I had
Wow.
no idea.
Yeah.
I thought they were
And
throwing, like, slabs of meat into the lion pen or something.
well, it's a little bit of a hybrid, but again, it depends on the zoo. So, me being from North America, the style there and the nutrition style there is very like every single nutrient, which means they love processed foods.
Mm.
They love ultra processed kibble, even for zoo animals. They love it. Then, because I was educated in Europe, there it's a lot more holistic. It's a lot more about giving the correct ingredients,
Mhm.
a little more loosey goosey with the nutrients.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have the both worlds. I'm like, well, let's get good ingredients and nutrients. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that nuts?
Yes, apparently.
Nutrients and ingredients? What? People thought I was crazy, and I'm like, common sense. So I feel like I've always just been like fighting for common sense nutrition
Yeah.
forever, but at least successfully. um, And then when I went over to the pet food world, when you're a real, sorry, I say real nutritionist just because I do need to distinguish for those that work in the industry versus those that work with clients.
Hmm.
No offense to anyone. Um, so when you work as a commercial nutritionist, meaning with pet food companies, and you're paid to formulate, you don't matter. You don't matter. You formulate what they want
Yeah.
based on their costing, based on what their target demographic is, based on what they want to sell. You don't. You're invisible. You just put together formula. You help with the trials. You do some research for them, and then that's it. You're done. So I was a nutrition consultant for many brands. I can't wait for my NDAs to expire and I can spill all the tea, but we're not. So now I'm like, I subtly say some things about some brands that I, don't want to get sued quite yet. But I work with a lot of brands of kibble brands and canned food brands, fresh brands as well. But you're just in the background. You're no one. And I'm like, and that means I don't get to make the diets that I want. I don't get to make diets that are actually beneficial for pets.
Hmm.
So I'm like, I need a sense of agency here. I need some way that I can work directly with pet parents besides my one-on-one clients to just educate and empower them. And also, I'm like low key sick of it. I'm just sick of being told to add to increase the carb content of the kibble because of budget. Like I have been
Hmm.
told this many times. So when people say fillers aren't real, ooh,
Oh, I know. Okay, so that's my thing is the fillers aren't real. The other thing is I don't understand how they can feed chicken feet and then get mad about byproducts. It's just like it's not the same. It
it's
is
not the
not the
same.
same. And the fact that
No.
you think it is astounds me.
How do you think that rice is not a filler? How do you think that rice is great? How do you think that rice protects their heart? Hello?
Yes. Oh my
Yes, we have
gosh.
said that.
Yes, so many times. So
You know
many.
that, but do you know that we don't that's not we don't learn that in school, like in animal nutrition school and books. It nowhere does it say that grains protect heart. Like we don't even learn this. This is 100% manufactured by you know who. Like it's
Yeah.
just the marketing is
100%
great.
manufactured, and veterinarians get awards for doing so.
Yes.
That's what just astounds me. And it's like trying to explain to people. I mean, I have been fortunate here and there just to basically break it down to say this is what's really happening. But I mean, the comments I've gotten with my meals where someone would say, good luck when your dog has DCM because you didn't add rice to it. And it's just like, it's not how it works. It's not how it
Girl,
works.
like
But thank you.
thanks.
So I'm super curious. So you're currently in Singapore,
I am.
and I I always feel like the ugly American. I don't know a ton about other parts of the world. So,
Sure.
like, what does the pet food world look like over there? Like, is there a market for fresh feeding? Are there pet food stores? Like, I don't know what this looks like.
Yeah. So Singapore is a tiny little country in between Malaysia and Indonesia. So you're smack at the equator. Okay. And it's like it's tiny. It's like an island, almost like a city state, but it's a full-fledged country. And because there's only about 5 million people living here in this country, the government runs it like really neatly and tightly. It runs the country like a business, I would say. Um, so people are really well taken care of. People have really high disposable incomes. I am generalizing, but yeah, generalized, they do have a high disposable income. Um, just because of the lack of space, they tend to live with their family until they're 35 or married. So there's time to build up like that, nest egg
Mhm.
and disposable income because they don't have to pay for rent or less so. So yes, like the dog and cat industry here is booming, I would say, especially after I mean, everywhere after COVID, dogs and cats kind of exploded, but here it just held on.
Mhm.
So because people are highly educated, because people are, like I said, affluent, they have money to spend. Um, you have so many local fresh food brands Oh, and not regulated. I should add that in because that helps. Because then it means that people can start making fresh food in their kitchen and sell it online.
Okay.
Um, yes. But then again, you have so many rich families that then some of them you just have a rich kid who's like, I want to start a pet food brand, and then they lay out a full fledged brand.
Mhm.
So actually, this is like the most dense area of fresh food I have seen thus far.
Oh,
Oh,
You
wow.
wow.
have
That's exciting.
it is exciting. Yes, it is exciting because it means that the options are there. People are able to choose,
But
but but um, animal nutrition is not a thing here. You don't have animal nutritionists in the universities here because it's not their focus area because there's no farms because it's so
Mhm.
small.
Yeah.
So people watch YouTube videos and then take that formula and then sell it. Like,
Oh.
yeah, so there's zero control over are they uh, complete and balanced or even what's in it. So I see a lot of recipes that I'm like, really? Are you sure? And then people come to me saying, would you feed this to your dog? I'm like, how do I tell you that? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, well, you may want to add a multivitamin. So it's great because there's a lot, but just the control is lacking.
Is it common for people to have dogs and cats as pets?
Very much so. We're seeing more and more cats. So cats are there's I believe now there are more cats than dogs. So they're kind of like on the off take. Cats in Asia generally is going to be the next big thing. Um, but also because the apartments here are tiny. I live in a shoebox. This is tiny, so cats make a lot more sense for the lifestyle. So you're starting to see this kind of difference between if you're a rich person living in a landed house and you have a lot of space, you'll have dogs, or you'll have a big dog. So you're starting to see kind of a difference, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I know what you were saying reminded me of, there are Facebook groups that are dog food recipe groups, and
Mm,
I belong to one of them because I use it for my content on Fix It Friday.
it's toxic.
And yeah, and it's just tons of, like, the recipes where I mean, yes, this is a cute recipe because you wanted to do something special, on a holiday, on their birthday or something, but it's so completely deficient, it's insane, and it's but I don't say anything in the group, I just sort of, follow along. What's
Yeah.
positive is that there are people within the group that'll say, "Well, where's your source of calcium?" And they'll ask the questions. But it's astounding, like, even, like, my mom was so proud of herself, and I'm proud of her. She has dogs now, 2. She got 1, and then, like, the way it happens, you fall in love, and it's like, "I need another." And so she now has 2 small dogs, and one had allergies really bad, and she couldn't figure out what to do, and she didn't wanna have to pay for tons of medication. I was excited to hear her, like, I don't think that that's a good idea because my mom's very pharmaceutical, so I was like, "Whoa, look at you. You've been listening to me." And, so she decided to cook for her dogs, and she tells me her recipe, and it's like the ones that you always see, and she got this from a book where it's like cook some ground meat, threw in some frozen vegetables, threw in some rice, and that's what she was feeding her dogs. And I've gotten better over the years of how to respond to that, because if this had been 10 years ago, I would have been like, and giving my opinion and just totally we would have had a fight, and that would have been the end of that. But instead, I was just like, "Oh, that's cool. So you're mixing that with the kibble?" And she stops and goes, "Maybe I should." And I was like, "I think that would be cool. It's such a great meal topper and stuff." And I was like, "Well, I was like, and you can also like add eggs to it and even ground up the shells because that way you can get calcium." And then she was like thinking like, "Oh yeah, there's no calcium in this." And the thing that's so scary is that she's feeding puppies.
Mm,
So it's just sort of like, she's getting these recipes from books and she doesn't understand that puppies need a different formulation than an adult dog. She doesn't understand about the different nutrients because as a human, I'm not going through my day worrying about my calcium intake. But it's exciting that she is open to the information. But, I'm trying to be a little more patient and forgiving to just people online because
yeah.
the amount of bad information that's being shared is astounding.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think control is the right word because we don't necessarily want everything to be controlled because then it's just a different problem. But
Mhm.
the way to filter out this information, which is, oh, this is fun as a treat, this is not that, is just completely lacking.
I agree.
And then if you say anything contrary, then people just attack you. They just like just rip you up.
I know. That's so much fun.
Oh yeah, okay. Hopefully I'll get there. It still makes me. Yeah, I don't find it fun at
I
all.
know you will get there. There comes a time. I mean, I've been doing this for 13
Yeah,
years now.
yeah.
So, I reached a point where it's to me, it's all content. So whenever someone does come
I
for me,
feel.
I'm like taking screenshots and everything. I mean, Aaron knows because Aaron's my person that I send things to because I'm like, look at this, look at this. But I take screenshots and I don't shame the person, but I just basically this is something I'm going to create a post around because and I just use it as content. I've been lucky though because I've been around for so long that it's not fun to come for me anymore. So I am really just rarely, I think the worst thing I experienced recently was I was talking about adding bay leaves to bone broth. And so I had one person said, bay leaves are toxic. And I explained, well, no, you don't feed the bay leaves to your dog. And explained that. And that person went away. And then the next person was just like, but I thought bay leaves were toxic. And I was like, you know what? I did too. And this is what I learned. And so it just, so that's my level, thankfully, knock on wood, of drama. I'm gonna go back to my phone in an hour and it's gonna be blowing up.
Have you
I
had
think
much of that yet?
I have people telling me their opinions and asking me why I don't agree with them. Or wanting me to like make a public declaration about whatever they want me to say. So I've had that in the completely random post. Like I try and be no, I am fair in what I say because it's all
I
evidence
think
based, and
so.
I look at the numbers and I say what the numbers tell me to say.
Mhm,
Um, and I specifically, because I work with so many brands, I specifically don't want to say something that is not helpful,
mhm.
right? So if I just say like kibbles are shit, that's not helpful. You're not helping anyone.
Right.
You're not. You're just
Yeah,
pandering to people who feel the same way.
exactly.
But my goal is to empower parents, and I won't do anything. It'll send them away, and then yeah, anyway, I don't want it to become an echo chamber, which probably means I won't grow as fast, but whatever, it's fine. Um, so I like to make these kibble topper posts for specific brands because they have different nutrients and blah blah blah. So your toppers, if you want to optimize a diet, will look different if you're feeding, Purina versus Open Farm or whatever.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cute, and I don't remember seeing that specifically. So I thought maybe I have an original idea for
It's
once.
a fantastic idea.
Oh, thank you. Yay, good. I'm glad you like it. But then I got comments like kibbles are like you shouldn't be recommending kibbles at all. I'm like, I'm not recommending. I'm saying if you're feeding this, then do this.
Well, what bothers me about the fresh food community, and it's not everyone, it's just like those very diehard individuals within the community who are like, all kibble is bad, period, it's processed food, blah, 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 blah. I get it. But, I look at it as I was a person who fed kibble. And if someone had come to me and just berated me about what I was feeding my dogs, I would probably still be feeding kibble today. But if someone came to me and said, hey, have you considered adding this as a topper and help me? It's like it was always so many people I know did the same thing. It was like a ladder where I started with using essential oils instead of, well, I use essential oils and use less topical flea treatment. And
Mm,
then I noticed my dogs didn't have fleas, so then I started and I don't mean like actual essential oils, but products with essential oils. So then I started using like Wondercide and products like that and stop using the topical flea treatment. So that was like my first step. And it just sort of you grow. And when you have someone out there that's sharing information like that, there are these very quiet people who don't say anything who are taking that in because I think a lot of people, like my mom, they wanna do the best for their dog, and my mom is retired. She doesn't have a ton of money to keep running back and forth to the vet, paying for different medications, but she also doesn't have she doesn't want to just completely, Like, she doesn't want to feed raw. She doesn't want to have to worry about going and finding different ingredients and stuff. She wants something easy but better. And so that's right up her alley. And it's like, I wish that more people understood that not everyone is in a position to just say, screw kibble,
Yeah,
unfortunately. And with the economy as it is, that's just a true reality. So to have someone telling them, hey, I get it, no judgment, let's make it better.
absolutely. Sometimes they just need to like hold hands and like guide them a little bit. Like even my mom, my own mother, I was back home for the holidays, and she has a little Yorkshire Terrier that was rescued. Maggie, the dog's name is Maggie, and her son, me, is a PhD animal nutritionist, and yet she still will do whatever she wants because I'm the youngest of three, so I am the baby of the family. I'm a 40-year-old baby. So, it's very difficult for me to have any credence, like for anyone to listen to what I say just because of when I was born. So I was like, okay, you're feeding this kibble that I don't love. It's not terrible, but we could do so much better. They were good with toppers though. They're adding some shredded chicken. They're doing some like carrots, like some things. So I was like, I want them to try fresh, but that's like too far of a divide for now. So let me bridge this. So then I upgraded their kibble to, yes, a more expensive one, but a much better one nutritionally. Can I say brands or?
Sure.
Oh, it's on my Instagram, so it's not a secret. So they were on Oven Baked, which is a Canadian brand, and then to Origin, which is no longer a Canadian brand. But anyway, um, but so nutritionally speaking, I wanted something that had more protein, that had lower carbs, that was just a little bit denser in energy for little Maggie. So Origin just fit the bill. And it had, for me, the ingredients are clean. There's no nasty ingredients in there. And then Maggie, who was not food motivated, just started eating her kibble on her own. And then my parents were just looking at the dog, looking at me. They're like, "What? Just like sorcery? Like what did you do?" I'm like, I just got a kibble that's better suited for Maggie."
Yeah.
And then after a few days, they're like, "Well, maybe." They're like, "Francis, do you want to try? Do you want to try fresh food? Do you want let's do more?" Because they saw that she was active for food. They saw that they just saw her whole demeanor change. They saw her poop getting smaller, even with a better kibble. So then that kind of opened the door to get them to say, like, "Well, let's see how far we can go."
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and that's the thing, that's the exciting part about it. When I hear from someone who's been following me for a long time and they finally tried something, and it's something that I've been doing for years, so it's not a big deal for me, but I'm excited for them because I remember when I finally tried something new and it worked. And like,
Yeah,
eating my dog raw meaty bones, or I remember when I first gave my dog a raw sardine and my dogs did not know what to do with it.
yeah.
And I was like, "I guess I better sell them to another raw feeder," but before and there's noise. Before I got rid of them, I decided to try again, and I gave it was Rodrigo, the one that got me doing all of this. He took it, and we were out in the yard because that's what I was grinding them up because I figured if I grind them up, they'll eat them that way.
Mm.
And so I gave him a sardine, and he went over into the yard, and he laid down, and he ate it and came back for another one. So I stopped grinding them. So half was ground, half was whole. And I've been feeding whole sardine ever since. And it's just like,
Mm.
it was so exciting to see that. But again, these are the type of things we learn talking to other people, seeing what they're doing, and, I just love what that's, like, such a great story with your family because that's, in a small way, that's exactly what I want the community to be, is showing someone a little thing and having them be able to witness the change and then
Yeah,
be like, "Well, let's try something more."
yeah. Let's keep going.
Yeah, it's exciting, when you start seeing that. I mean, and I think some of it I've been into this whole thing lately with, like, our psychology and how we, like, identify, and, like, for me, Kimberly knows I have this dog we adopted about 2 years ago, and she's a very intense dog, and I always thought that I wasn't a dog sport person. But
Mm.
this dog needs a lot of activities, and so I, like, have been dipping my toe into, like, okay, well, we did, like, a tricks class, and we started doing nose work. Oh, she really likes nose work. Oh, I see how excited she is. So now we're doing all the advanced nose work classes, and now, we're doing canine escape room, and, it's like, oh, I do really like doing this, and it's like I didn't. And so I've been trying to like equate that with food of like, yeah, sometimes you just got to dip your toe in and then you see it and you get all excited and you keep going with that
Yep.
momentum. And, there's I don't know, there's something there.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like when you meet someone who feeds raw. Like, because I have a local brewery that me and my friends go to every Sunday. And I'm the person who brings treats for the dogs. So I'm always my little way. I bring like I've been going through chicken feet, and then sometimes I'll bring organ meat and just what I make dog treats. I've been asked by the bartenders to no longer bring salmon and prawns and and squid.
Because they smell.
They would like me to leave those at home. Because
Please, please, ma'am.
but the dogs love it. If I come in with fish, I am
Yeah,
swarmed by dogs.
no
But,
doubt.
yeah, but actually just giving people these type of things, and then people start asking questions about, "Hey, I noticed this," or "I was thinking about doing this, and what about this?" And, I've had conversations about bone broth. I've had conversations, I mean, about so many things, and it is kind of exciting because, I'm starting to notice more and more people are a little more open to feeding some type of fresh food. I
Mm.
feel like they've come across this stuff on social media, and I just want it to be a positive experience because I know that you can have the opposite, like a negative experience.
Which then sets you back. So
Yeah,
yeah, we gotta keep positive and helpful and definitely no shaming.
which
Yeah.
is what you do. I think you do such a fantastic. I mean, Aaron and we've been following you for the past year. And I just think you do such an excellent job of just sharing information, sharing the facts. Your content is so entertaining. I look forward to it when it comes through my feed because of what you're going to talk about. What are you going to talk about today? It's really kind of fun. And my question to you actually is back to your education. You have a PhD in, is it animal nutrition then?
Yeah, I mean, it's technically wildlife nutrition, but the yeah, animal nutrition.
How does that differ from
Mm.
of, what people are doing? Because there are so many people, this growing group of people who are, canine nutritionists online, and they're offering, meal formulation services and consultations, which I have mixed feelings. On one hand, I think it's fantastic because at least people are getting some help from someone, because not many veterinarians, as far as I see, are willing to have these conversations. But on the flip side, I also wonder what level, like the education that I got taking these courses versus the education you got.
Well, the first most obvious difference is 10 years, give or take. Mm. Yeah, without putting anyone down and not saying that their certificates are not valuable, but it's just time. Like, I spent a lot of time learning about it and learning about all of the peripheral topics around nutrition. So biochemistry, really drilling down into the 101s, right? The fundamentals. Um, in school, in my master's, even in PhD, there's no class on how to put a diet together.
Hmm,
That's kind of how you use all of the foundation, everything that you learn, and then that's kind of the pinnacle on how you do your hands on. So that's a lot more experience, but you have all of that knowledge that you've been gathering for literally 10 years.
mhm,
The putting the diet together, that really comes in the work experience. So I feel, and I would love to see if this resonates with you, if this makes sense, that when you're taking these online certificates, these online courses, you're kind of skipping a lot of the foundation and going right to the juicy part,
yeah,
right to the meat. You're going right to the how to put it together without maybe knowing all or most of the background, depending on the course you take. So yeah, I completely agree that some courses are better than others. Absolutely. Some are completely useless and just a cash grab. And there's more and more of them coming with AI.
yeah.
Um, Now you can make AI courses like with a snap of a finger. It's
Yeah,
really
I saw
scary.
one last year, it was $50
Yes.
for a nutrition, and I'm just sort of, and then when I was looking at the list of things, and people in the comments are like, "Oh, yeah, I just signed up, and I'm gonna do this because I wanna do this for a living," and I'm just like, $50? I
Yeah.
mean, that
Well,
should be your first red flag.
it really should be a first red flag. And like a 6-hour course, really? Like that's
Mhm.
also a red flag. You can't learn this. Nutrition is a huge, huge topic
Yeah,
and subject.
it is.
So yeah, and it's not just my education, but like I've been working as a nutritionist commercially for another 16 years at this point. So this experience all really adds up. This is not to say that I feel that I'm better than other people, but I do think there's a difference in the qualification. Yes, I truly do believe that. Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that, I've taken uh, 3 courses over the past, 10 years. And I can tell you from each one, and this, of course, is just me. A month after I took that course, if I were to sit down and take a test on what I learned, I'd fail. Because one thing that and this is how I learn, because in college, I have a business degree. I didn't take
Mhm.
a couple of classes and then they're like, here's your degree. We took an economics class and we took multiple accounting classes, multiple statistics classes, and everything was, and where you took the foundation and then you took the next level. And
Yeah.
by the time I graduated, I understood at least the basics of marketing and all the segments of account or of business, so that when I went into my first job, I wasn't just completely useless. And plus I also worked because, you have the work study program. So you did stuff within your major.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got that experience. And for me, I need to be able to study something repeatedly before it really plants, which is why I play around with animal diet formulator software.
Yep.
Because, one thing that I didn't anticipate is if you realize that the diet you're feeding your dog is low in zinc, it's not enough to Google foods rich in zinc and then add that food to the diet and now you're good. Because when you add that food, it shifts everything. And
Yeah.
and it's just like, I remember when I first started using the software, which was probably 2018, I would have recipes that would have 30 ingredients because I was just, like, trying to figure this out, and my goal was to get it down to 10 ingredients just to be, because it's like, to me, I felt like 10 ingredients was reasonable. And it took a long time for me to just understand that, okay, it's because, and I need to just have a better understanding of how the nutrients work together. And that's not something that I ever got from any course that I took.
That software is a game changer for everyone. It really is. On the flip side, I am going to spice it up a little bit and say that it does enable these quote unquote like fake nutritionists to pretend that they're legit.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because then again, oh, I am certified and I can make diets for you, but then really they're just using the software. They don't know what they're doing.
You
But
know
then
what they're doing?
well, we know what
I
they're doing. They're using that.
They're doing ChatGPT and then running the ChatGPT through the software to fix it. Or some of them are just using ChatGPT, period, and
Period.
you running it through software to correct it. And I mean, to me, it's like, fine, okay. My issue and the reason why I don't offer any consultations is I believe that health and nutrition go hand in hand. And I also believe that people aren't always forthcoming when it comes to all the things you need to know about their dog. And it's not that they're lying, they just don't realize that they need to share this with you. And I don't have the experience or knowledge to know the questions to ask to get that information. And
Mm,
so, I mean, I have a friend who's been in the raw feeding industry for decades, and she is one of those people. She also came from the human medical field, so she has a lot of knowledge. And so, like, if she's talking to one of her customers and they're talking about their dog coughing, she, because I'm just like, I'm thinking canine flu, some type of virus, and she's thinking heart disease. And let's talk about heart disease. And those are
mm,
conversations that I cannot have with people. I cannot talk to them about their dog's health. I am completely unqualified. But
right.
I think that some people are sort of dancing the line of practicing medicine without a license, without realizing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Without realizing it or totally realizing it,
Yeah.
just especially and again, I am generalizing, so don't attack me, don't get mad. But like the holistic side of it, and it's crazy because they have hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're just preaching, just go outside, just go in the forest with your dogs, and they will absorb the power of nature, and they will. And I'm like, well, that sounds so nice, and I wish what you're saying was true. But you know what? If it inspires 100,000 people with their dogs to have like nice lives, I guess there's merit in that. But I'm like, just you still need to look at the nutrients. Like you still need to. You can't just give meat and a hope and light. The dog won't photosynthesize what they need.
Yes.
Yeah,
So here's something I'm curious about that we see argued all the time. So are dogs carnivores? Are they
oh, good
scavengers? Are
question.
they omnivores? Do you have an answer?
Love. I have the answer.
Mm.
Uh, so okay, when we because I worked in zoos, right? Like there's no book on how to feed a wolf. There's no book, there's no textbook on that. Doesn't exist. So it's a lot of it is based on experience and models. So we have these things called model species. So the model species for a carnivore is a cat because we know a cat's nutrient requirements. We know how to feed a cat. So if I'm trying to figure out a diet for a cheetah, then my base nutrients that I'll aim for will be for cats because that's what we know. And then we extrapolate. So based on a cheetah's metabolism, based on what they eat in the wild, the diet's probably gonna be a bit more in this, a bit less in this, a bit. So then we tweak it over time, right? But it starts from a domestic model. So we don't know how to feed a Himalayan tar, but we know how to feed a goat. So we start off with the nutrients of a goat. What do you think is the model for omnivore?
I don't know.
It's the dog.
Oh,
Really
It's the dog. The dog is the model for the omnivore.
interesting.
So what I want people to understand is that it's not a one category check. It's a spectrum. So omnivory is a spectrum. So are dogs omnivores? Yes. But are they more towards the carnivore side? Absolutely. Can you feed them garbage as an omnivore and they will survive for a while? Yeah, they'll survive. They won't thrive, but they won't die. But if you feed them as a carnivore, will they have the best health markers? Will they prevent more disease? Will they have better metabolism? Will they live longer? Yes. So two things can actually be true in this situation because on paper, they are an omnivore. However, do feed them like a carnivore
Mhm.
because there is overlap. Like I said, it's a spectrum.
I
right.
think Dr. Ian Billinghurst has in his course this graph. I think that's where I saw it, where it shows like carnivore, like obligate carnivore at the far end, and
Yeah.
then omnivore or maybe even herbivore at the other end, and talks about how, basically they stack over each other. It's not like a straight line. They sort of like, carnivores go all the way into omnivores, omnivores go all the way into herbivores, and it just, and animals fall along. And I thought that
Yeah.
was interesting.
It doesn't work that way. Like example, an orangutan, which is a herbivore, they have seasons where they will just completely eat bugs. The ones in Sumatra, they will just like gouge on bugs when there's tons of termites everywhere, they will eat them. Does that mean they're no longer herbivores because they eat bugs once a year? No,
Yeah. That's
it doesn't
good.
work that way, you know?
So,
Uh,
how are
yeah.
wolves looked at in zoos?
Wolves.
Mhm.
So that's very interesting because I have worked in zoos where they fed them kibble.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they fed them kibble. And then actually Toronto Zoo. They create a lot of the diets that are sent out to a lot of zoos in Canada, and it's really just chopped up meat with some nutrients added in. So it's one step better because it's real meat, but you're missing the organs, you're missing everything else, and it's just a premix that's mixed in with the meat. So that's one step better. And then you have complete carcass feeding, just a gutted half goat or horse or something wherever you are, depends where you're in the world. And then it's just hung up, and then you just let them go in on it. And there are studies and there is data that shows the difference, especially in the poop, the difference in their behavior, the difference in just their overall livelihood, well-being, I should say, of kibble-fed wolves and tigers versus carcass-fed. And the carcass-fed one always, always, always comes out on top. They
Mhm.
have better behavior, more natural behavior. They're less likely to be obese. Just all the blood markers are more stable. and less disease and longer lived compared to those that are fed kibble.
Of course.
Yeah. So that's why I'm so fervent in what I think I know, because I've seen it with my eyes and I have
Mhm.
tried all the different permutations. And yes, a dog is not a wolf, but very, very, very close, close enough.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever dive into microbiome in your studies?
I love the microbiome. I was very fortunate to be one of the first research groups to look at the link between diet and microbiome for animals. So it was done with a American group of researchers, and we did it on different types of monkeys. And we gave them different diets, and then we looked at the microbiome throughout. So this was in like the early 2010s. This was before microbiome was a big thing.
Yeah.
And then this was published in a huge paper, and it's still being cited today as like the originator of correlating these two. There's still so much we don't know though, and just giving lactobacillus and giving a little microbiome pill supplement is probably not going to do much, but it's still good to get people to start.
Yeah.
But now we need to start going on the strains. We need to get going on harnessing the real microbes that are inside them instead of rehashing the same ones
Yeah.
and trying to genetically modify them so that, oh, now they are good for IBD or something like that. But the microbiome is fascinating.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my favorite story to tell is when, Erin and I went to Super Zoo together.
Mm,
It was her first time going. I had gone every year except for COVID, and this is our first time going together, and we had a blast. But we
mm.
met, a raw food company that had probiotics in their food, and we unfortunately asked them
Questions.
why yeah, why why do you guys choose to do this? Why did you choose this strain? And, the person was still stuck in the, "Do you know what, probiotics are?" And it's like, "Oh, ma'am."
Yeah.
Yes. And it was the most uncomfortable conversation because, of course, they couldn't answer any of our questions, and when I looked into it, I don't know if I ever told you this, Aaron, the probiotic that they added to their food is the same one that a lot of kibble companies use. So it wasn't really that special.
It's like the most commercially available,
Yeah.
strain.
It's
Yeah.
like they probably went off a menu of what can you add to dog food and, "Oh, let's add a
Mm.
probiotic. Here, that's good." And it's just sort of like, "Okay, never mind."
Well, do you know where probiotics originally come from? Like the actual bacteria? You know where they come from, right?
The soil. That's what I
Soil.
A lot of them come in the soil, but like commercial usage, it comes from farms.
Oh, okay.
So this is not new for the agricultural industry. They've been giving probiotics to cows and pigs forever to get them to gain weight faster. So
Oh.
they're cheap to feed and they can be like fed faster. And now the same ones that we're being told are amazing for dogs and cats were developed for cows and farm animals. So that's why you see the same strains all over because that's all we got.
Yeah.
Ah.
So when you have these amazing visionaries like
Julianne Lee of Adored Beast
yeah, that
Apothecary. Yeah.
yes, thank you. That's exactly what I was uh I had apothecary and I was like, what's the other
Yeah.
uh Canadian brand? Hey.
Yep.
Canadian, yep.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, just so forward thinking and then like just really trying to get these microbes out of these wolves.
Yeah. I
It's
mean, it's
amazing.
I have something I have w not I wouldn't say one of everything. I actually did years ago. I had her whole line, but I alternate between several of them. They're like my favorites. Right now, my dogs are on Fido's Flora.
Mm,
But then I'll switch to the wolf, and I'll switch to, like, gut soothe, and then I also have Gussie's gut that I put in there as well,
yeah.
and I alternate between all of these because, I want the diversity in their gut, but it's just like, yeah, I don't think a lot of people think about the fact, I see this in groups where people are like, "Hey, I hear that I'm supposed to add a probiotic. What should I add?" And I'm, like, sitting there like, "I wanna answer." But they don't want my answer because my answer is, you need to alternate because you want to. And then on top of that, I'm lucky enough again to live here in the Pacific Northwest. We have 5 acres and we don't treat our property with any type of
Oh,
chemicals or anything. So just letting my dogs run around outside, and we have little wooded areas between our house and our neighbor's house so they can run around through the woods, and they're getting involved in the digging in the soil
yeah.
and things like that. So they're getting that exposure as well. Eating completely disgusting things where I'm like, okay, I don't want to walk over and see what you're eating. I'm just going to call you. Let's go inside. And I just won't let you lick me for a few hours. But I bet it's great for your gut.
That is good for my gut. I remember this crazy book called Deep Nutrition. It's for humans. And it basically they're trying to introduce the concept of gut health when it was still quite new, and I think this doctor did not know much because they're like, take off your shoes, take off your socks, go walk outside, make contact with your feet and the dirt, and then the bacteria will go from your feet into your gut digestive system.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, what? Either you think I lick my feet, or these bacteria just like go into your skin and into your gut. I was like, what are you talking about? You that people write anything.
I mean, if that's the case, no wonder people are so afraid of raw feeding if the bacteria is just coming through our skin.
Yeah. Oh my, can you imagine?
So, when you're working for these companies and formulating, is it basically that you just have like this list of like, these are all the raw ingredients that are available and these are the costs? And so you need to come in at X price point and, and be balanced. And then you have kind of matched those up. Is that kind of what you're given to work with?
Um, Sometimes even less than that. I mean, what you just said sounds like a dream because it sounds like I could knock that out in a day. Usually the bigger companies will be like that. But there's a lot of startups, a lot of smaller ones that are engaging me now, which now I prefer to work with instead of, making nasty rich people even more rich, which I'm starting to understand. Um, so instead of, yeah, I prefer to work with these smaller companies, but usually they don't know. They're like, I'm like, what can you get? They're like, everything. I'm like, are you sure? I don't think so. So I do try and push them for a list of what they can get. But then, a lot of the times I want the best possible diet ever. I want you to make the best. So I'm like, okay, cool. Novel protein, low carb, lots of meat inside, all of these. Because I do have to think about the marketing side as well. So some of these fancy sounding nutraceuticals that also work.
Mhm.
Um, and then they look at the price and they're like, oh, so we looked at the pricing and maybe can we take a step back? So then I always end up having to redo it many times. So I think I'm just gonna start off with a dummy recipe just to scare them with the price so we can get down to the real thing. I'm starting to think, I don't know if that's dishonest, but like a lot of them they just don't know. They don't know. That's
Yeah,
why they're hiring me because they have no idea.
yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those things where I look at some recipes and it's usually, yeah, the ones with the novel protein. So, kangaroo or alligator or something. And these recipes, a bag of the food is like 40, I mean, a couple pounds, 40, $50.
Mm,
And I'm just like, oh my God. I mean, I understand that these are for, one, very rich people, or two, dogs that are just like have such horrible allergies
yeah.
that they just have no choice but to give them something like that.
Yeah.
But it's shocking. And because I try to keep my meals for my dogs to $5 a pound, or
Mm,
basically on average $5 a pound.
yeah.
And I've been able to do that over the years just by actually educating myself. I think if
Yeah.
I were still just winging it like I used to when I started, I would be spending probably upwards of $10 a pound. So it's interesting when I see the conversations in groups around money and how much people are spending. And I actually even had someone, it was so funny, who told me when I shared how much I spend on my dogs, and they commented, "The math isn't mathing." Because if you really spent that much, and then attempted to break it down, and I had to break the news to her that it's like, actually, your math is actually inaccurate, and
Yes.
let me show it to you. And I think because I spent at the time about $335 a month on average. for my dogs.
And she has 4
Yeah.
pretty big dogs, yeah.
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 And I
No,
had to,
that
and it's like, and I had to keep explaining, it's like, this is on average, because it's like, there are some months where I am stocking up on things, and there's some months where I hardly pay for anything, so it just really just depends on what's in my freezer, what's available. And I shop sales, and also just being, doing I don't want to call myself an influencer or a content creator. I've connected with so many brands out there that a lot of times I can work out deals with people and get stuff at a discounted price. So, yeah, it's one of those, and I don't mind it. I get a kick out of it. So I don't mind driving, like, it's decide waking up on a Saturday and saying, "I'm gonna drive to all the Asian markets in the next 2 towns and see what they have and see what I can get." I don't mind doing stuff like that. Not everyone has the means or the time or even the inclination to do something like that, and I get it.
but it's such a wild comment to be like, "No, you're wrong. Like, you're lying about the money you're
You
spending.
know?
You're wrong. Like, you don't know my life. What are you talking
Well,
about?"
especially since I'm not, like, selling anything.
Like, you're not. You're just like, "This is how much I spend for," like,
I mean, it was just so funny because it's like,
people
I'm
need to.
sorry, but and I always remind, we have a phenomenal, probably if not the best, one of the best raw food co-ops is in Washington State.
You do have an amazing
So
co-op.
yeah, so our raw food co-op is like having a natural pet store online that basically stocks things from local farms. And
Wow.
we buy everything in bulk. So I have 2 dedicated freezers. So, like, today I did an order for 50 pounds of grass-fed beef, and it's the 80-10-10 blends. And so a 50-pound, and I did 50 pounds of, or no, did I do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 pounds, 25 pounds of grass-fed beef and 25 pounds of chicken. And I think tonight I'm going and picking up 25 pounds of whole turkey. Um,
Wow.
and, and I scored, so excited, I don't remember how much it was. I think it was 200 pounds of pheasant, that
Oh,
I still have in the
mm,
freezer. And it's like, it's the last of the pheasant. Like, I'll never be able to feed my dogs pheasant again because we lost our source. But, we have really great, like, if someone contacts them and says, "Hey, I have this, would you like it?" They're like, "Hell yeah." And so
mm,
we're able to get, especially if you're lucky, it kills me when I miss out on a really good special. It's just like,
right?
oh.
So do you have a dog?
So she passed away, so this is her
Oh,
her
oh,
print, her
oh, I love
print.
that.
She
Yeah.
passed away, so now I'm a foster instead.
Oh, good.
So what do you
Um,
feed?
so, I because I travel so much now, it's usually when I know I'll be, like, in here for about at least 2 months, then I'll foster, because now, like, my clients are all over the place, so I travel a lot, which wouldn't be fair for the dog. So it's only when I
Mhm.
know, yeah, I don't get as much puppy energy or cat energy as much as I would like, but it's okay. That's what it is for now. So when I do have, when I am fostering a dog, by the way, it's really weird because, like, I have full of dog toys in my house. I have, like, dog beds, but I have no dog.
Oh.
So when my friends come over, they're like, what are they're like, "What are you up to?" But yeah, it's permanently ready for puppies. Um, I cook naturally. Like, I just like to be in full control. I like to make my Excel spreadsheet graphs and monitor their weight, monitor everything that they eat. It's fun. For me, it's fun. It's,
Yes. That's what I try
yeah,
to
it
get
is.
people to understand. It is so much fun.
It is so much fun.
But I'm an
Uh,
accountant by day, so it's like,
well, it is. It's just
I love it.
nutritional accounting, 100%.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's fantastic.
And then when all the numbers tally, you get, like, a little, like, rush of endorphins, like,
Oh
oh,
my gosh, when I do something and all the red vanishes from the spreadsheet in
yes, it's all
Rumble Diet
green.
Formulator, and it's just like, oh. And it's even better when I look at something and then I start taking things away and it's still balanced, or reducing things and it's still balanced, because at some point I mean, that it is so much fun. It
Yeah,
truly
it is.
is. That's what I mean, my biggest like win for 2025 was creating my own base mix for my recipe and figuring out that I can use a set of ingredients in different variations for each
In
protein.
rookies. Yeah.
And it saved me so much money doing it that way.
Yeah. Just because there's no farms here, like I said, everything is frozen. That's why I don't do raw. I do cooked instead.
Mhm.
Gently cooked, obviously. So it's, yeah, I'm just more comfortable with that for this
Yeah.
routine.
So you did a video, I think it might have been today or a recent one about like if you had $5 to spend on your dog's bowl, like here's what I would do. And I just thought that was fascinating. And I saw the egg in there, Kimberly. Was that poached, like the gently cooked egg?
That was me trying to poach an egg. 40 years later, I still can't do it, but that's as close as I got. Damn.
I know. I have a video of me trying to do a poached egg and
I
just
know.
telling
I remember
people,
seeing that.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't tell me what I did wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's like
I'm like, you stir, put the egg and the egg just like straight to the bottom. Like, what?
yes.
I stirred for when
The
you got
little stringy things, and it's like,
yes.
"You're supposed to come up and make this," and it's like,
It's just
"What's
like it's
happening?"
giving up. It's like giving up.
It's like, "What's
Much.
happening? I just woke up."
Yeah.
And it's like I think I've had kind of a poached egg success one time, and someone told me, you can just buy a machine that poaches eggs, and
Mm.
I just I'm not gonna poach eggs that often, to warrant spending money on a machine, but, it was kinda yeah. I do sunny side up. That's my
Sure.
lane.
As long as it's in there. I mean, yeah, there's a difference in digestibility of the egg whites, but
Mhm.
yeah, you're fine.
Yep.
Yes, I love eggs. Eggs are great, especially for kibble, just because kibble always will never have the optimal amount of protein ever. And as we know, very high in carbs, which we don't love long term for your pet's metabolism and insulin control.
Yeah.
So adding in an egg, it really, I mean, I know it's quite basic, but it really does make a difference. It really does.
Yeah. And it's simple if you raise your own chickens. For people who raise their own chickens, because they always have extra eggs, Yeah,
What a nice problem to have.
I know. I know.
Eating eggs today. Oh God. Yeah. And then the yogurt is a good one because it has been shown to be beneficial for gut health, even though it's like kefir or kefir is much better, but that is not within the $5 budget.
Mhm.
So I couldn't put that
Mm.
in. Yeah.
Is it just plain yogurt? Like Greek yogurt?
So in terms of gut health, there's no difference with plain yogurt or Greek yogurt. It's the
Oh,
same.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. But if you do want a protein boost, then Greek yogurt is the way to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
thought those were really great, just things that
mhm.
pretty much anybody can do, you know?
Mhm.
Canned fish is a close third, though. Close third. Canned sardines, canned anchovies, those are
Mhm.
great.
Oh, my dogs
Yeah.
love those.
Well, because omega-3 is another thing. Like these kibble companies, they really make you believe that there's omega-3s in there when all they put is flax seeds
Mhm.
that artificially boost the omega-3 content. You're like, oh, there's plenty of omega-3. No, this is not what you think it is. It's
Yeah.
the marketing. Yeah, it's too much. So, whatever anyone feeding kibble listening to this, give omega-3s.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I happen to know a great company named Wolf Creek that sells very high quality omega-3. I am
Wolf
their
Creek,
newest
everyone.
employee.
Plug, plug.
Available at www.wolfcreek.
No, we'll put a link in the notes below.
Oh, there you go.
It is very important, though, and it's important for so many different functions.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, I love your point to the fact that, it says that something's in there, but when you look at what they're using to create that nutrient or show that that nutrient's in there, it's just simply not sufficient. And then on top of that, we've baked the kibble 5 times at very high heat. So it makes you wonder, it's like, is this before or after we did that?
Oh, can I just to you one more anecdote before we go?
Yes, please.
There is this new brand that came out in this part of the world, in Southeast Asia, very expensive kibble, very nice branding, like, feels very rich, and their ads are all how they slow cooked this kibble, and their ad I'm gonna have to do a reaction video to them because it's just nonsense. So their ad is, like, fresh ingredients, just fresh ingredients, like fresh meat, there's a big broccoli, and then it looks like a beautiful dish for human. And then it's in like a stir fry, like as if like they're stir frying it. And then there's the kibble. They're trying to make us believe that they stir fried this and cooked it in a wok, and then it became a kibble. I'm like, who? Oh, like I hope people can see through that. Like that is not how kibbles are made. But just the fact that they're still pushing it, like these clowns are still trying to get people to be like, no, 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 kibble is all natural and not processed.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Can't you can't get away with that.
Oh, yeah. I've had people tell me about the holistic kibble that they were feeding their dogs, and it's like, yeah, or no, the organic kibble that they were feeding their dogs. And I was just like, "What brand?" And when they tell me, I'm like, "Yeah, that's not organic." And they're like, "No, it is." And I pull up the ingredients and there's like an organic blueberry or something. And I'm like, "Yes, because they're allowed to call it organic because they threw a blueberry in the pot." And it's like, it's not organic.
That is a racket.
I
Should be illegal.
agree.
Well, we're gonna have to have you back on because still have
Yes,
so
this
many
is so
questions,
I know, this
and
is so
you're
much fun.
fabulous. But, yeah, everybody needs to go follow at Fueled for Life. You're having these awesome videos, and we just have so many more things we're going to have to get to another time.
I know. Thank
But
you
thank
so
you so
much for
much.
coming on.
For it's 7 in the
Thank
morning without your coffee.
It's
Exactly.
okay, I got it. I'm ready to go now. Ready to live my life.
Oh
Thank
my
you so
goodness.
much.
Thank you for your time.